Hello everyone, back tuning into today's second video. We're going to have a look at weather next week's 10 days, or today's second video, which takes around the 16th of July. We'll be able to extend out beyond that, the extended GFS and ECM ensembles running to around a couple of weeks. And as usual, we'll have a look at CFSV2 for the next month. Just to say that the first video up today was a week ahead broadcast, so that's your detailed week ahead look ahead. Going to be a rather changeable week, I think, coming up. There will be some dry and warm weather on offer, but not as much as we've had in the past few couple of weeks. So have a look at that and see what's going on. Right, so we're going to start off with Central England temperature. This is how things are currently looking with Hadley. Provisional up to yesterday, the 5th of July. The CET is currently for July standing at 16.0, and an anomaly of 0.5 of a degree above average. So a little bit above average in terms of July's overall temperature. I don't think that's going to deviate too far from that over the next week or so. I think we'll have periods of warmer and cooler conditions alternating. So I'm not seeing a particularly big deviation away from average in the next sort of week or so. So certainly no sign of any excessive hot temperatures compared to what we had last year. Of course, we had the July CET coming out at 19 degrees. So we could be sort of 3 degrees lower with the CET for this month compared to last month. Though it is very early days. It's only the 5th of the month. So there is time for it to be both warmer and cooler than that 16.0 by month's end, of course. GFS upper air temperature and precipitation ensembles next couple of weeks. So the red line here is the 30-year upper air temperature average. So we're starting off very, very close to average for today. And we're going to go a bit cooler than average in the next 2 or 3 days. And then we're going to see things warming up over the early part of next week. Overall, though, not deviating far from average at all. Temperatures coming out very, very close to the 30-year temperature average. So not a huge amount going on from a temperature perspective. Precipitation-wise, a few showers coming up later this afternoon and overnight tonight in the southeast. Then we go drier until the middle of next week before it gets rather showery around the middle part of next week, Wednesday, Thursday, possibly to Friday, rather showery. But after that, it's looking drier again, actually, as we go into next weekend and through to the early part of the following week. And then right at a very extended range, perhaps turning a little bit more showery again then. Temperature anomalies from the 6th to the 14th of July. Overall, a little bit below average, a little bit cooler than average with the temperature anomaly in the next week. Precipitation anomalies, again, very close to average, but overall, probably a little bit on the drier than average side still. This is how the GFS is looking for Tuesday. High pressures bridging through the country, bringing loads of dry, fine weather on Tuesday. Wednesday, just turning a little bit more unsettled. Though, as get through to Thursday, we're under a cold, so that's where we're neither under high pressure or low pressure, but I think heavy showers will be breaking out through Wednesday and Thursday. It might be a bit thundery as well, before high pressure sort of re-establishes at the end of the coming week and into next weekend, bringing loads of dry and fine weather into next weekend. Big sporting weekend next weekend, of course. Got the ladies and men's finals at Wimbledon and also the British Grand Prix. So we're probably going to do, and there's going to be some festivals as well, I think, taking place over this weekend. We'll probably do an update for that, I would have thought, on Monday, but we shall see. But anyway, it looks like high pressure will be re-establishing next weekend and bringing back a lot of dry, fine and warm weather. Heading up towards day 10, where we keep this ridge extending through England and Wales, so fairly dry even up to day 10, which is the 16th of July, although it does turn a little bit more unsettled out to the north and the west of the country. In a more extended range, low pressure then starting to take over as we move into towards the final sort of week of July. It looks a little bit more unsettled, although even then we do still have a bit of a ridge over Scandinavia and a ridge down across the Azores, so we're not too far away from keeping fine and settled conditions going even up to that point. GEM, again, the high pressure is extending through the country on Tuesday, bringing a fair amount of dry weather, but it turns more unsettled through the middle part of next week. Heavy showers breaking out Wednesday and Thursday. Actually, a little trough slipping down across the country into the second half next week. That could bring perhaps some longer spells of rain into more eastern areas. But then next weekend, the high pressure re-establishing itself again, building in close to the country. Could keep some cloud and showers going around those eastern coasts, but overall it looks like high pressure re-establishes next weekend and takes us through to day 10, which is Tuesday the 16th of July. ECM again is rather showery as we go through into Tuesday across the far northern part of the country, this area of low pressure, but otherwise we're actually under a ridge of high pressure on Tuesday, so just about hanging on to dry weather. But through the middle part of the week, particularly Wednesday to Thursday, we find pressure weakening, so showers could break out and they might be heavy and thundery. But as we go into next weekend, the high pressure then starts to re-establish once again, bringing back drier and more settled conditions. That's how it looks as we get up towards day 10. Again, a lot of dry weather on offer, although low pressure is in the Atlantic, so maybe that could start turning things a bit more unsettled into the second half of the month. This is the option that I've got on the table at day 10 with the ECM ensembles for the 16th of July. This is from the Icelandic Met Office. Overall, it looks like high pressure is quite dominant at day 10, 16th of July. We should have a lot of dry and fairly warm weather on offer. As you get through to 2 weeks away, though, these are the options that we've got. This is for the 21st of July. Have 22 members of the ECM ensembles with below average heights up to our north, and we're bringing in this westerly flow. That could be rather an unsettled option, but then we have 15 that have the above average heights close to the country. That will bring a reasonable amount of dry and settled weather in 2 weeks' time, and that includes the ECM control run as well. And then 14 that take the high pressure a bit further north. That's more of a northern blocking feature with low pressure underneath it, perhaps a little bit cooler, a little bit more unsettled with that one. So in 2 weeks' time, we've got a lot of options to work with, quite a bit of an uncertainty, you would have to say. Finally, this CFS V2 is looking for next month. These are 500 millibar heights broken down into weekly periods. The first week period takes from the 6th to the 12th of July. The coming week will have above average heights over just a little bit to the west of the country, bringing a lot of dry and settled weather in the weekend, but not overly warm. The wind is coming in from a northwesterly direction, so it will be a bit on the cool side, but a lot of dry weather to enjoy. Week 2 is the 13th to the 19th of July. High pressure in control, above average heights right over top of the country. Low pressure is away to the north. Jet streams push northwards as well. That will bring plenty of dry and warm weather through the middle part of July, and this goes on into week 3 as well, really. This is 20th, 26th of July. Again, above average heights extending through the country, rather like that. Low pressure is up to the north. Maybe a bit more unsettled across Scotland, but overall we're still under high pressure even in week 3, and this carries on into week 4. So if this is right, we're setting up a prolonged spell of dry and warm weather. There's not much sign of this in the shorter range, I have to say, but if the CFS is right, the 27th of July to the 2nd of August is week 4, is still dominated by high pressure, and this time the high pressure going a little bit to our east, so that's starting to drag in hotter air, you would have thought, from the southeast. That could be starting to set up a bit of a heat wave as we get through to the end of July and the early part of August. The ECM still seems keen to be setting up pretty, CFS I should say, still seems keen to be setting up pretty dry and potentially quite hot weather as we go further on into the summer. We'll tie in with the Gauss Weber's summer forecast, of course, but again, we've got this discrepancy between the shorter range and the longer range. So the shorter range is really saying no to this and wants it to be rather more, wouldn't necessarily say unsettled within the shorter range, but certainly a bit more changeable compared to the CFS. So the confusion about this July goes on. It's been a very, very difficult month to pin down. It's always looked very sketchy this July, and it just goes on. Even as we're now 6 days into July, it still goes on. We're still seeing quite a lot of uncertainty. So we shall see where things go for July. But certainly the coming week looks a little bit more changeable. But there will be dry and warm weather to enjoy, especially at the end of the week and into next weekend, I think. And then on into kind of like next week, the following week, if you like. That should have a reasonable amount of dry weather for a while. Right, that's it. So that's your videos for today. We shall be back tomorrow, starting off with the next Analogues update for the autumn. And we'll also have Gazlovis Sunday Roundup as well tomorrow. So that's all for now, though. And thanks for watching.